I've been wanting to do answer this question with a video. It's fine if English is not your first language, neither it's mine. I just had to study it as when I started studying when we moved here from Germany to England. Anyway, so this answer is talking about me wanting to them wanting me to explain about my Camilla obsession. I am not obsessed with Camilla. Not at the moment. I'm not obsessed with Camilla anymore. But I'm also not disappointed with her. I'm also not. I mean, hate. Come on, who wants to hate and dislike a person? Like, I always see every human being as being capable of good and bad, and I see the good and bad in other people. Except with, I like to see the good in people, good things. I am aware that a lot of people will be able, like Camilla, she's a human. Of course, she's able to do bad things, but I don't focus on people's flaws and bad things. I want to try and focus on the good things and just show respect and admiration. But with me, the way it comes across, respect and admiration are kind of like husband and wife. With respect being kind of like the husband who is the head of the household, and the wife is the kind of the support. So the admiration is the wife. So without admiration, without respect, can turn into quite an obsession. This is nearly what happened with me and about my admiration towards Camilla. I once was very, very obsessed with Camilla. I would do a lot of CapCut videos on her. And yes, she's amazing. She's done amazing charity work. Like, I love the Queen's Reading Room. If you're a literature lover, you guys, this comment was actually under a comment where I talked about my book diver moments and book recommendations. So that's why I love the Queen's Reading Room, because that's literature. There's not much music inside, but I love music. Music, arts, fashion, and literature. I also love supporting, like, victims who have been domestically and sexually abused, rape victims, homeless people. Now that one is like Diana and William, is helping the homeless people and homeless shelter. I do support quite different charities. There are also special charities, like I think Kate does that. Charities supporting young children and children's education and mental health. Also mental health. My favorite fashion designer, she used to be the chairwoman of Zane, and she did a Zane launch in December 1990. She went to the then Prince and Princess of Wales. But also because, her husband was friends with Charles anyway. But I love fashion, and before I fell in love with Kanga collection and with Dale herself, I was very. I'm not gonna sit here in front of the camera. I'm gonna lie. I'm gonna be brutally honest. I was very mean and horrible towards Dale when I first read about her. So this all started in 2023. So it was getting closer to Charles' coronation. I wanted to kind of research about him, about his wife. I knew his first wife was Diana, and then his second wife was Camilla. And my mom said something that Camilla kind of was like his young love or something. And at first I would just say, oh well, I mean, Camilla and Charles are true love. And yes, well, it is kind of true love, but it doesn't kind of work with royalty and all that. An aristocratic family. Also, what did kind of annoy me, I'm not going to judge Camilla. I don't want to judge her, but it's quite like very similar to Diana. They just think they can chase Charles or Andrew or make them love them by cheating on them. It's kind of not right. All four of them should be ashamed of each other. Should be ashamed for cheating on each other. And I don't want to actually talk about that. I just want to let Diana rest in peace, and Camilla and Charles and Andrew, I just want to let them get on with their lives. Anyway, back to Kanga. Before I started falling in love with Kanga collection and the designer herself, Dale, the nickname Kanga came from her husband, Lord Anthony Tryon. She has herself mentioned that to Lorna Wells in an interview with Lorna Wells for the Australian Women's Weekly for December 1977. And she has also mentioned that Lord Try and her husband, they had a very cute, like they knew friendship, and that friendship developed into love. And the way he actually proposed, the way she explained the way he proposed to her, and I feel like he's not like any other aristocratic man that would cheat on the wife once she gave birth to an heir. Because he spoke to Andrew Morton, and there's an article, and they actually put the article in the 2008 documentary Prince Charles and the Mistress, where Dale's husband goes to the Andrew Morton and says, "My wife was not Prince Charles' lover." So that means he's not. He is a very loyal husband, very different to our aristocratic man. He's saying to the media, "My wife is not a mistress. She's not Prince Charles' lover," because once upon a time, he and Dale had a very lovely story. Now, first I was looking at Charles and Camilla's love story, but then I'm realizing, like, I mean, I get Charles was the future king and he couldn't get married, but many have said he could have abdicated the throne for Camilla to get fall in love and marry Camilla. And either Andrew, or I think Andrew would be the next in line before Anne. He should have given it to Andrew or Edward then. But I mean, Charles is a good king, and you know, Dale and her husband were also happy and supportive towards him, because I can see he's doing a humanitarian work. The Prince's Trust is a favorite charity of mine. Why should he update? I mean, he did mistakes. He's a human. Of course, humans make all mistakes. But I was really obsessed with Camilla, to the point where I do like Capcoat videos. There was one Capcoat video I had to delete of both my TikTok and YouTube channels. Thank God I didn't share that to my Twitter or X and Instagram account, but I had to delete that from my YouTube and Twitter account, where it says, that from Shrek, the first Shrek movie, that scene. And it gave me 3 contestants. I did Dale in the first one, Deanna second, and and Camilla on the third one. Now, obviously, I put Camilla on the third one because obviously he will choose number 3. And I had to delete that one because after learning about my favorite fashion designer, I cannot choose between her and Camilla. And I don't want to get Deanna involved either. So I had to delete that one. And that's how also, I would have... I think I've written up, or I have written a poem, and I've read that poem somewhere on one of my previous videos about my jealousy towards Camilla meeting this pop star, and I felt like, I shouldn't. I deleted all those horrible, nasty comments, especially horrible, nasty comments aimed towards Dale, because when I researched about Dale, she's not like Meghan Markle. She wasn't. In the 1990s, she started, physically not feeling well, and then mentally draining as well. And she kind of inspires me because I myself suffered from chronic pain. Dale suffered from spina bifida from a young age. I suffered from rheumatic arthritis, like juvenile arthritis pain. I was hospitalized like Dale was, and I felt like if Dale was alive, I could have kind of shared with her that story, or we could have shared each other's story about our chronic pain and illness. And then we could have talked about mental health or mental illnesses. She could also probably mentor me in the fashion industry. She's one fashion designer I always love. And I'm going to do a separate video on her dresses. The dresses that I've got from... the Kanga dress that I got. And what I love about these Kanga dresses. But she's very sweet, kind, caring, funny, bubbly and cheerful and vivacious. I'm just seeing as a human because, as a human, she's done a mistake. She's done a mistake by picking up the phone and dialing the journalists and calling them and kind of, wanting the journalist to write a story that she and Charles were lovers. But, I mean, it doesn't matter if Charles doesn't love her, because I know her husband, Lord Trine, did love her, and it is mentioned that Lord Trine was pushed to divorce her. So that means he did not want to divorce Dale. He didn't want to let her go, but he did let her go and protected his children. and his rest family. You probably must have heard him a lot, but I mean, they're now together, and again, in the next